Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky, and welcome to the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. And whether you're watching with our friends over at Turning Time, or wherever you watch or listen to your podcast, as always, it's exciting to have you along for the experience. And you know, we're in the middle of doing our Shabbos series because a number of the Gedolim Torah told us that Shabbos is a Shmiras Shabbos. Shabbos protects us. I think it was Shmuel Hirsch who said, more than the Jews have kept the Shabbos have kept the Jews. And we are going through different aspects of Shabbos. So I did right now I want to do the Shmiras. I did the Friday night Shmiras. And I got some feedback that it was kind of technical. You know, it's not like you went into it be'in. You went through it pretty quickly. You gave a little bit of explanation, which is what I try to do, try to make it meaningful. If you want to go into it be'in, I'm not averse to that. I have a tefillah shir that I give on Sunday night here in Eretz Yisrael, which is, I guess, Sunday afternoon in America. Sunday morning in Los Angeles, maybe Monday in Australia. I don't know. But the point is that, I can spend many, many hours on one bracha of Shemona Esrei and developing different concepts of it. So like we just finished out Tzadikim, and, we had a whole class on the difference between Tzadikim and Chasidim. And we had a whole class on Geriat Tzedek. And so I could go into this in a lot of depth. What I want to do is try to inspire people to say the Shmiras and hopefully make them a little bit more accessible to people. So is it going to be a little technical? It's a little technical. Suck it up. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can actually learn something here on the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. It's okay. No, we have that too. We try to have things for everybody. So every now and then I say some kind of brilliant insight that is my complete own idea that has no basis from anybody or anything, and sometimes borders on kfira, and I'll say that. And sometimes I'll say over schmoozin that I've heard from great people, and sometimes I will give recipes. But right now I'm doing the Shmiras. So live with it. And we have a sponsor for our Shmiras Part 2, sponsored anonymously in honor of my parents' 41st anniversary. I got to tell you, there was a time when that sounded very, very old to me. But as I approach my 42nd anniversary, I have to say, now, full disclosure, right? I'm not... I wear my heart on my sleeve. Everybody knows everything about me, So I'm turning 65 on Gimel Shvat. And every now and then I turn to my wife and I say, we're in our 60s, which is something I just can't even wrap my head around. From my mind, I'm still a young couple. I feel this way because I've avoided maturing over these years. But I remember when I was younger and I would look in the paper and I'd hear about a 40-year-old man and I'd think to myself, wow, that's so old. And now I'm almost 65 and I read in the paper about a 40-year-old man and I say, wow, that's so old. 41 years. Can I know? The great thing about having a 41st anniversary is you're already looking towards your 50th. And I don't know what you do on the 50th anniversary, almost anything you do will be anticlimactic because it's such a big accomplishment. You're married for 50 years. Yeah. The 25th anniversary, which I had already. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get to 42 without passing 25, And that's always a pretty big one. But 50th anniversary, I remember one year someone sent me this online birthday card with a little song on it, I don't remember all the words to it, but I just thought, happy birthday, what have you done that matters? Happy birthday, each year you're getting fatter. Happy birthday, you have not accomplished much, But at least you didn't die this year. I guess that's good enough. So that's it. You just have to stick it out, Anyway, thank you for all you have done and continue to do for me always, and being true role models for me in all areas of life. I hope I can continue giving you nachas and ad mea ve'esrim. And thank you, Rabbi Orlofsky, for giving us another thing to bond over. Wow, a pleasure. And we should go on and have simchas, all of us. So boy, do we need them. And tough times. So during these tough times, we're focusing on Shabbos. Okay, we did in the last episode the Friday night Shmiras, and now I'm going to do the Shabbos day Shmiras. And as always, I'm only doing the ones that I sang in yeshiva. The ones that we didn't do, I can't really tell you because we didn't do them. So whether they're selective or not, we start with Kiddush. Kedusha Rabbah, we had that in Menucha V'Simcha. It mentioned Kedusha Rabbah. Kedusha Rabbah is the D'Rabbanan Dika Kiddush that you make in the morning. That's the mitzvah of Zachas Yom HaShabbos L'Kadshay. You get with the Kiddush at night. That is the night Kiddush is the mitzvah d'Oraisa. The day is the mitzvah d'Rabbanan. It's called Kedusha Rabbah. And in fact, the Gemara makes clear you could just make a Bar Priya Gafen. Some people add in the pasuk Al Kain Berach, and some people, of course, add in all the little paragraphs that are with it. But if you're ever stuck and you don't have a sitter or a bencher, just make a Bar Priya Gafen. You can't go wrong. Kedusha Rabbah. All right, and then the Shmiras, and I'm using them for my bencher in order of appearance, and again, the ones that we did. So, Baruch Hashem Yom Yom, we didn't do, so I can't tell you. Baruch Kel Elyon. Next episode of Mitzvah Hashem, we will do tunes, because I'm not doing the tunes now. I'll get somebody who's better at that than I am. But Baruch Kel Elyon is very long, and every tune is a challenge because of that. And I sometimes mix it up and do each stanza to a different tune just because it's so long. But we'll go through it now. It was written by Baruch. How do I know? Because the first four letters of the first four stanzas spells out Baruch, and the next three spell out Chazak. Right? Okay. Baruch Kel Elyon Asher Nosa Menucha L'Nafshenu Fidyon. Baruch, blessed, is the highest God who gave us rest. Yeah, Menucha is a emotional, spiritual rest. L'Nafshenu Fidyon, redeem our soul, Mischazek v'Anacha, from all the suffering and groaning. Yidrosh l'Tzion ir anidacha, and he will seek out his city of Yerushalayim that has been pushed away, ad ana tugyon nefesh nenacha, and will take away all of the groans and the sadness of your people. Hashomer Shabbos haben abas lekel yeratzu kamincha machvas. If you keep Shabbos, haben im habas, that's obviously based on the pasuk. Beni uben bnei Yisrael zilom, right? Ato vincha uvitecha avdecha abamascha v'techa v'gecha shirecha. You, your son, and your daughter. So I believe that instead of just saying, men and women, ben ubas, is because there is an aspect in Baruch Kel Elyon of the family and giving over to the children with this zemer. If you keep Shabbos, lekel yeratzu kemincha al machvas. I always thought it's interesting. There are different types of minchas, right? There's mincha b'soilis, there's mincha b'tanur. Why does it say mincha al machvas? And one of my kids gave me what I think is a very simple answer. It rhymes. Okay. But this was written by Rishonim. This is the choshva stuff. This isn't just cute little things that you stick in there. Yeah. So why mincha al machvas? I one time saw a bencher that had a likut of Mefarshim on it. I can't find it now. Here I am doing Zmiris and I can't find it. But I remember seeing they were selling it, and it's basically a bench that just has little insights. And this question has bothered me for so many years, and I said, if it gives an answer, I will buy it. And then, of course, I can't find it. But I opened up right to that. Why is mincha al machvas? He says, this is a mincha that's made in a frying pan. And says the Lev Eliyahu, Lopian, even if your Shmiras Shabbos is hard and dry like a fried cake, not white and fluffy like a mincha b'tanor, like a sponge cake, it's hard and dry. Lakel yeratzu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu still wants your Shmiras Shabbos. Yeah, this is in response to the people who think, if I can't do it 100%, why should I bother doing it? It's okay. Better to do it sometimes. Yeah. I've told this story back in my Tefillah series, where the way I heard the story was there was this frum person who was meeting with Ben Gurion. And he sees the sun getting ready to set. He says, I'm sorry, you have to daven mincha. And he goes to the corner of the room and he does what we call in the vernacular a quickie mincha. And when he comes back, Ben Gurion says, you call that a mincha? So he says, no, but because I do that 3 times a day, every now and then I daven with kavanah. He says, if you can say you've davened with kavanah once in your life, it's worth doing that 3 times a day, every day of your life. It's Ben Gurion. So even if your Shmiras Shabbos is kemincha al machvas, hard and dry, it's still kadei. Rochev ba'aravos, he who rides up in the highest heavens. Melech Olamim, the King of worlds. As Amo Lishbos, that we should keep the Shabbos, Izain ben Ne'imim, you made us hear with pleasant words. I think, and I didn't see this anywhere, but I think, when Hashem spoke at Har Sinai, we all died. It was a very difficult situation. And it says, V'saged lebnei Yisrael dvarim koshim kegidin. Very, very hard words. What do you mean, izem ben ne'imim? So I thought, where did he say it nicely? When he said to the women, Kos somar lebeis Yaakov lashon raka, something soft. So maybe this is, like I say, ben ubas. Right? When we're saying it over to our children, we say it over pleasantly. All kinds of tasty treats and delicious foods. We dress up in clothing of honor, and we have a fancy family meal. Fancy family meal. I've had secular people over my house for Shabbos, and they said, what you do here every Shabbos, we call that Thanksgiving. Once a year, we have a meal like this, where we sit in the dining room, we take out the china from the china cabinet, He says, you do this every single week. It's a Thanksgiving all the time. Yeah, and Ashrei, which can be happy or praised. Everyone, Tashlume Kefel, you'll get rewarded twice. All Shabbos is twice. There's 2 breads. There's 2 everything. Everything is doubled. Shabbos is doubled. Shama v'zocha. Everything is doubled when it comes to Shabbos. Me'ez kol soicher shochen v'arafel. Yeah, to everybody who keeps it, he who dwells in the darkness. Nachlal yizkeh. Bahar v'shafel. If you keep it, he will give you a reward. He'll give you a nachala, an inheritance, in the mountain and in the valley. The valley has the advantage that it's low down, it's not hard to plow. The mountain has the advantage that you can grow things on 5 sides, on all 4 sides and on the top, Rashi explains. So you'll get in the mountain and in the valley. Now the Gemara says that the Shvatim, when it came to the girls, people wanted to make sure they got mountains and valleys. Each one has an advantage. Nachla umenucha kashemesh lozarcha. It should shine on you, this rest and this inheritance like the sun. Kol Shom Shabbos kedas mechalaloi. Everyone who keeps the Shabbos from being profaned. Hein hechsha chibas kodesh goraloi. You will get the love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in your part. V'im yetzei chovas hayom ashrei lo. And if you fulfill your obligations of Shabbos, again, it'll either be happy or you'll be pleased. El keladon mechalaloi mincha hishlucha. That you gave this present to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the end of the day. The only thing we can give to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Shmiras mitzvahs. We accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu upon ourselves. He has everything. But because he gave us free will, the only thing he doesn't have is us serving him. Chemda sayomim, we spoke about this the last time. Chemda is a thing where you desire the thing itself. Torah is called chemda. Tzal is called chemda. The day of chemda, kroi keli tzur. That's what God called it. Ve'ashrei l'smimim em yihya natzur. And if we protect it and keep it, we'll again be happy or praise the tmimim if we keep it perfectly. Kese hilumam aroshim yotzar, you'll get a crown on your head. Sorry, lamim ruchu v'amnacha. Yeah, the rock of forever will make his spirit rest on you. It's very interesting you get a crown because that is how the Gemara explains Olam Haba. Tzadikim yoshvim va'atrosehem b'rashehem, with the crowns on their heads. Zoch is your Shabbos HaKadsho. Right? Remember the Shabbos to make it holy. Kanu ki gava neza al rosho, and this will put the crown, the tiara, on your head. And so you will give to a person happiness and pleasure. All of these things you'll get. Kodesh hi lachem Shabbos ha malka. The Shabbos queen is holy. El toch batechem lahaniach baracha. It'll make bracha rest in your homes. Bracha comes from Shabbos. That is the source of all bracha. Yeah, it's the story with the Chavetz Chaim, where this fellow, his son was driving his wagon into Shabbos. He wasn't careful to stop at Shabbos. Friday night, he was still driving his wagon. So when the Chavetz Chaim, made a stop in their town, everybody was coming to get brachas. So they wanted to tell the Chavetz Chaim not to give this guy a bracha unless he told his son to stop driving his wagon on Shabbos. But they couldn't tell him because by that point, Chavetz Chaim was hard of hearing. They would have to say it loud and he would be embarrassed. So the guy comes to the Chavetz Chaim to get a bracha and he says, what do you want from me? Shabbos hi makor ha-bracha, like we say in L'cha Dodi. All bracha comes from Shabbos. And if Shabbos isn't happy because your son drives his wagon and your daughter brushes her hair with a comb, so how can I give you a bracha? He says, I'm going to go, I'm going to speak to them, I'm going to be Mischazek Shabbos. He says, okay, then I can give you a bracha. Everyone said no one knew how he knew about the daughter with the comb. That nobody knew about. Yeah. Oh, tzaddikim. So it's the source of all bracha. If you keep Shabbos, the bracha will come into your home. That, of course, is based on the pasuk. Don't do any malacha in all of your dwellings. There it is at the end. Again, sons and daughters. Eved v'gam shivcha, which is what we said. Everybody has to keep it. Yom mechubad mikol yomim. This is the most honored of the days. Kivo shavas tzor olamim, because on this day, the rock of all the worlds, God, rested. He chose this day because he rested. That's the theme. Sheshes yomim tasim alachtecha v'yom hashvi lelokecha. 6 days do you work, and the seventh day is for Hashem. Shabbos lo sasa b'malacha kiko asa sheshes yomim. On Shabbos, Hashem didn't do malacha because he finished everything in 6 days. So what it's telling us is this: Sheishes yamim tasim melachtecha. Why? Because otherwise you'll never know it's Shabbos. Do work on 6 days so that on Shabbos it'll be clear that you're stopping because Hashem rested. Rishon hu lemikra kodesh. It is the first day of all of the holy days. If you take a look in Parshas Emor, when it lists all of the Yom Tovim, first it mentions Shabbos. This is the first. Yom Shabbos on Yom Shabbos Kodesh. Shabbos is a special day of Shabbos. It's the highest level of Shabbos. Yom Kippur, which is called Shabboson, is only a chi of kares. Shabbos a chi of misa. You get the death penalty. And that's why the Gemara in Megillah says you get 6 aliyahs on Yom Kippur, but you get 7 on Shabbos. It's higher. Alkein kol ish b'yenu yikadesh al shtei lechem yibsu semimim. That's why we make kiddush on wine, and we make hamotzi on 2 loaves of bread, the double miracle. Echol mashmanim shisei mamtakim. Eat fat foods and drink sweet wines. Key, now it doesn't have to be high in cholesterol when it says fatty foods. It means, rich foods, good foods, right? It talks about, the fat of the grain. So, kind of good fatty grain. Ki kel yitin l'chobo devekim, because Hashem gives reward to all of those who cling to Him. Beged lilbo sh'lechem chukim, bas v'dar v'kol matamim. Clothing to wear, and bread according to your measure, meat and fish, and every delicious thing. Lo sechsabo, don't lack anything. That, of course, is from benching. Eat and be full, and then bless Hashem, because He chose you from all of the people. And Shabbos is that special os between us and the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Non-Jews not allowed to keep Shabbos. It's only for us. The heavens tell His glory, and you can see His chesed fill the earth. Everything is made from His hand. He is the rock whose acts are perfect. And therefore, we recognize the world that Hashem created in 6 days, rested on the 7th, and so we, as a testimony to God's creation, do that as well. Yom Shabbos on Ein Lishkayach. Now, this is a very interesting, I have a whole share on this. You could probably find it on Torah anytime. Yom Shabbos on Ein Lishkayach, the day of Shabbos, never forget. Zichro Kareach Hanichoach. It should be remembered like a korban, like the sweet smell of a korban. Yona mazabo manoach v'sham yanuchu yigiei koach. The Yonah, which was sent out by Noach to see if he could find a dry land to rest upon, it was on Shabbos. And the people ask, how do you know that was on Shabbos? So the Mefarshim learn out that it says he waited Sheva Yomim and Shivas Yomim over again 7 days. So Vaistas, it's talking about 7 days, which is Shabbos. And he sends the bird out and he waits, and the bird comes back, and it says by nightfall with a branch in its mouth, because it waited till Shabbos was over to pick the branch, and it's brought down to Ad HaYom Hazeh, the Yonah keeps Shabbos. So it's a sign you can see. And then when he never came back and he found the Manoach, that was on Shabbos too. Yeah. So he found Manoach, and there everybody who is weak will get strength from Shabbos. Hayom nichbad lebnei amunim, those who have faith, honor the days. Zehirim l'shamru avos ubanim, fathers and sons. Chakuk b'shnei luchos avanim, it was carved into the luchos Shabbos, merov onim v'yamitz koyach. Hashem will strengthen you. Uvo chulam bebris yachad. Now we talk about Matan Torah, and it's interesting that we go from the Yonah of Noach to Matan Torah. We came in one bris, Nasav and Ishma Amru Ke'echad. We all said Nasav and Ishma, which of course we also accepted Shabbos. Upasch v'yanu Hashem echad, Baruch hanosen l'yoif koach. Those who are tired, God should give them strength. And again, another reference to Har Sinai. Diber b'kodsho b'har hamor. Hashem spoke on the mountain of Mor. Again, that would tie in with Reach Nichoach, sweet smelling Reach Nichoach. Yom Hashvi Zocha v'Shama. He said both Zocha and Shama at the same time. V'kol pikudav yachad ligmar. Finish everything beforehand. Chazek masnayim v'yamitz koach. Strengthen yourself to keep Shabbos. Gird yourself to keep the Shabbos. Now, here's the last paragraph. Ha'am asher nokat sonta, and the nation that is now lost like wandering sheep. Yizkol l'fagdai b'resu shvua, should remember, Hashem, remember your covenant and your oath. L'val ya'ava b'mikrei ra'ah, even though we've wandered and we're so far away, don't remember how you promised not to hurt us, not to have anything happen. Kasha nishbata al mei Noach, like you swore to Noach that you would never bring another flood. So you'll notice the two major themes here, in addition to Shabbos, is the Mabul and Har Sinai. And the connection is a Gemara in Zvachim, where when the Torah was being given, the nations of the world came to Bilam, as is discussed in the Tehillim. Ha'olam lemabul yoshav v'yoshav Hashem melech le'olam. The world is returning, is coming to be another Mabul, and the world is going to be destroyed, and only Hashem will exist. And Bilam assures him, no, Hashem promised it wouldn't happen. What you sense as a Mabul is Hashem giving the Torah. Hashem owes l'amo yitain. And they said, oh, Hashem yivarech hasam b'shalom. Oh, good luck to them. Because just like the Mabul changed the entire world forever, so did the Torah. And therefore, when you have an Am Yisrael in the world, that is as much of a churban for the nations of the world, because we speak the truth, and they have to work so hard to cancel us out. And the same effect that the Mabul had, that's the effect that the Matan Torah had to the world. And that's why one of the names for Har Sinai is Har Chorev, from a lashon of Chorban. Ki eshmer Shabbos kel yishmerenu. Right, we keep Hashem's Torah. Hashem will keep us. Osil yom hayad. It'll be a sign. Shabbos is a sign. Beino beini, between me and Hashem. Asur mitzvah chayfetz asas drachim. You can't do any of your normal things. Gam l'daber b'divrei tzrachim. You can't talk business or any of your needs. Divrei tzcharav, divrei malachim. You can't talk business and politics. Ege b'saras kel u'sachakmeini. Just learn Torah and become smart. Bo'em said Dovid nofesh l'nafshi. In Shabbos, I will always find rest for my soul. Shabbos gives you a rest. It's a spiritual day that regenerates you. The first generation that got the Torah, we gave Shabbos. Mofes, a wonder, b'seis lechem, mishnah b'shishi, all the way to creation of the world. When I said, v'yavarech, as Yom HaShvi Kadesho, so, Rashi says, at the creation of the world, God said, that's going to be a reference to the double portion of mun that will fall on Friday, and none will fall on Shabbos. The bracha is on Friday, and the kedusha is on Shabbos. That is how we know Shabbos is built in the creation, right from the beginning of creation, the first generation. B'seis lechem mishnah b'shishi kocha b'chol shishi yachva mozoni, and we should always have this double bracha that Shabbos brings. Risham b'das hakel chokel skanav. He wrote down for his skanav, his noblemen, his assistants. This is talking about the Kohanim. Bol aroch lechem panim b'fanav, that the lechem panim in the Beis Hamikdash would be set up on Shabbos, which makes sense because since Shabbos is the source of all bracha, they would take the lechem panim, which represented the bracha of Klal Yisrael for the food and for all of their needs. Yeah. Al-Kain lis-anos bo al-pi nevonov also levad miyom kippur avoni. That's why, because the eating on Shabbos is kadosh, like the lechem panim, therefore you cannot fast on Shabbos except for Yom Kippur. Hu yom mechubar yom tanugim. It's an honored day of pleasure. Lechem v'yayin tov bas v'dagim. Yeah, bread, wine, meat, fish, all the good things. You have to be happy. You're not allowed to mourn on Shabbos. Even a mourner is not allowed to mourn on Shabbos. Anyone who does malacha on this day and is mechal Shabbos will be chayiv kares. So clean your heart. Be honest. Yeah. Your heart should be boris as a cleaning agent. Make your heart, wash your heart. And daven the 4 times, the 4 tefillas of Shabbos. All right. Shimru Shabsosai Laman Tinkus Vatem Miziv Rechosai. Keep Shabbos so that you will, tinku is like to be nursed like a baby. Usfatem, and be filled miziv berchosai, from the light of my brachas. El hamenucha kivosam. Yeah, my menucha will come, ulavu alai bonai, and they will be led, ve'idnu ma'adonai, and I'll give them all of the pleasures. Shabbos hayom laHashem. Shabbos is for God. La'amol karel dura. Dura is freedom. Draw the call artsaya. It's it. Everybody goes free. So from all work we go free. When asadi is birchasi, and I will give you my bracha, isha achosa litzra, and it will be one bracha after another. Literally, it means a woman to her sister, but it means connection, one connection to another. Legalois al yom simchasi. And will be revealed on this day of happiness. Big day sheish im shani, wear linen clothing with rich dyed crimson wool. Vizbaranu mis kenai, and think of the sages. Yeah. Maru is hamonela asosis dvar Esther. Quickly prepare the meal like Esther commanded. Right. When Achashverosh found out that Mordechai was the one responsible for saving his life, he tells Haman, quickly, hurry and take Mordechai, lead him on the. When Esther comes and says to Achashverosh, I have a request, he says, what? So I want to make a suit, and I want you and Haman to come. And they say, quickly bring Haman. And Medrash tells us, but most people know it from the Purim tape, that after they poured the bucket of filth on his head when he was leading Mordechai, they rushed him to come to the Suda, even though he didn't have a chance to wash up and change. Yeah, there quickly, like Esther commanded, to make the preparations. And don't worry what you're spending. Got to work out the cheshbon. To buy food and have leftover. You understand? You the way you prepare for Shabbos is not the way you prepare for anything else. When I was a kid, so I would get a brown paper bag, or more likely back then I get a lunchbox, a metal lunchbox with who knows what on the outside. And, so you'd get a tuna fish sandwich on white bread, a Hawaiian punch, maybe an apple and a bag of chips. That's a great lunch. But if someone comes over for Shabbos lunch and you give them like a tuna fish sandwich with a Hawaiian punch in it, apple and a bag of chips, they're not going to be so impressed. Maybe they will. Depends on the age group, I guess. But Shabbos, you make all kinds of fancy things. I remember we had these two girls from the Eretz Yisrael. They used to come to us very often on Friday night, but they never came Shabbos day. So I said to them once, why don't you ever come Shabbos day? Because everyone knows you go to the good cooks on Friday night, because anyone can make a cholent. A cholent and a kugel. He goes, but the really fancy food is on Friday night. Don't you want to come? So we make fancy food, v'hoiser, make enough to have leftovers. You ever go someplace where there's like 6 people and there are 6 pieces of chicken? I was one of 6 boys. My mother always cooked for an army. Didn't matter, even after there was nobody at home. I told her I was coming. I'd be there for Shabbos. I was coming to visit. So my brother would tell me, don't tell mom you're coming. Just show up. Because then she has less time to prepare. Because if she knows you're coming, she'll make a brisket and a turkey. It's just, there's no way the two of you are going to finish all that, So, but you make enough to have leftovers. Shabbos leftovers. Shabbos leftovers, a concept. Here it is. Trust in me. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. Your Shabbos expenses are not cheshbon into whatever is given to you before Shana Yom Kippur, how much money you're going to have. So buy fine wine for Shabbos. Don't worry. Yom Geula, Yom Shabbos im tishmaru. The redemption will come if you keep Shabbos. V'yisem liskula, be my chosen people. Lino v'acha ta'avoru v'yos tichyu lefanai u'smal tzufunai. So stay, and we will pass through to this geula, and then you will live before me and be filled with all the great things I'll give you. Strengthen yourself, city, to Hashem. Yeah, speaking of course about Yerushalayim. And bring us to Eretz Yisrael with happiness and rejoicing. And then Yisharu Shamrananai, we will sing to you happily. Levayai v'choanai, us, the Leviim, the Kohanim, us tizanega Hashem. And then we will get pleasure from Hashem. Okay, one more we're going to do. I'm not going to do Shalosh Shudas. I'm going to save Shalosh Shudas for another time. I want to talk about Shalosh Shudas. And the Zmiris that we do on Shalosh Shudas, and it's all part and parcel of what we're trying to accomplish. Dra Yikra Leveinu Bas. Dra is, of course, freedom for the son and the daughter. V'yintzorachem kamo vavas. And give them like a apple of my eye. Ne'im shimchem v'lo yushbas. The wonderful things, the glory will never stop. Shavu v'nuchu b'yom Shabbos, because we rest on Shabbos. Derosh navi ve'ulami, seek out the Beis HaMikdash and the ulam, which is the front chamber. V'os yasha asei imi, and a sign of salvation, of redemption, make for us. The tasorech betoch karmi, plant a precious branch in the vineyard. She'ei shavaz b'nei ami, and we will daven and praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Deroch pura betoch batzra, trample Batzra, the city in modern-day Iraq. And the Medrash says that's where the final battle will be. The Malach of Esav will run to Batzra before Mashiach comes. He will be destroyed. V'gam Bavel Asher Gavra, and also Bavel, which of course was the first nation to destroy the Beis HaMikdash. And every exile we're going in is just a continuation of Bavel. And there's a Gemara that indicates that Bavel represents Yishmael and the power that the Arabs have over us. So overpower Bavel. Nitzot sarai biafe avra, go against our enemies with anger and fury. Yeah. Shema koli biyom ekra. Listen to our voice when we cry out. Elokim tain bamid bahar, and out in the desert, in the mountainous deserts, hadash shita barosh tidhar, you will plant all of these beautiful flowers and plants. V'la mazhir v'la nizhar, and those who are careful, shlomim tain kamei nahar, you will give all of the peace like a flowing river. Hadoch kamai kel kana, squeeze them, the enemies, God of vengeance. B'mog levav ubamagina, with the strong heart. B'mog levav, get their heart and their punishment. Yeah, so give us that strength instead. And open up our mouth and fill it with songs of praise. Your chachma will be to give us to our life, and it will be a crown. Nitzor mitzvahs kedoshecha, we will protect your holy mitzvahs, Shmiras Shabbos kadshecha, and keep your holy Shabbos. All right, Shabbos Hayom LaHashem. Like I say, when I was in yeshiva, we didn't do it, so I'm going to skip it now. Not that it's not significant, but those are the Zmiras of the day, and it's interesting. There are some people I know who are better at singing Zmiras at night, and some people who are better at singing Zmiras during the day. Each one of them has their own character to them, because as we mentioned when we talked about the tefillas, the night tefillah, we stressed the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and in the day tefillah, we stressed the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah, and we're keeping it because of the Torah, and we go back to that commandment, and it's on us. And so the Zmiros, each one of them that have been chosen to be sung during this day, are unique to this. Now, I want to do a show with one of my Sephardi friends who will explain the Sephardi Zmiros, which they have different Zmiros than the Ashkenazic tradition. Shmiras Shabbos, I think, is the overlap. And we'll have that coming up. And I hope to bring in somebody where we'll focus on the tunes, because the tunes in themselves are chashiv and lend a certain power to the words. And that's it for now. Until next time, you can find out more about the show by going to my website, RabbiOrlofsky.com. You can leave a comment. You can sign up for an online share. You can sponsor an episode, sponsor a question and answer, sponsor a 5-minute parsha. And that's what we have. Until next time, I am David Orlofsky, and this has been the Rabbi Orlofsky Show.
It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Torah and Simcha, ready to go. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Knowledge and wisdom will help you grow. Lots of fun in every episode, and we don't have to rhyme. No, we don't. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show on RabbiOrlofsky.com. Torah anytime, YouTube and more. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Torah and Simcha, ready to go. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. Till next time, till we meet again. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show. It's the Rabbi Orlofsky Show.